Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
BoxingVoice.com.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
I must be the greatest. Let's get that done. I've been here before, and I know what it takes. Hard work, dedication. BoxingVoice.com. Mayweather is the best.
Win, lose, or draw, we coming to fight. Can't nobody take that away. We're coming to fight.
They do what they can, I do what I want.
When you look at how he throws that left hook, it starts out really low. We're going to see what kind of character he has.
The lefts and rights by Maidana. And it's all Marcos Maidana here with a lot of those punches off his shoulder.
I think anybody out there listening or Keith, anybody, think that that's a dangerous deal to make. I think it's perfect. That's it.
15 minutes. Can you be strong for 15 minutes? Can you? Listen, the concentration is leaving a little bit. Pick it up. Pick it up!
Some things about we got to deal with the body shots. I don't think you want to be that close to us. He's talking about letting the left hook go, then you take the left hook. Let's get that done.
Look, the fire's coming. Are you ready for the fire? Look, we're firemen. We are firemen.
We are firemen. Who was ready for that fire? Who lives in the heat? We're going to talk some Saturday night, even some Friday night boxing here on the boxingvoice.com. Hashtag TBV podcast. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. It's our Sunday edition, the Crow edition. A lot of crow to be served. We're going to get to that. We got some headlines. We got some fight results. And we got some opinions and thoughts. So let me head out to the Golden State's own, the Hipster. Anna.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it? Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
BoxingVoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock, into a knock out. When the main thing is, I just help the guy. I wish.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yes, the Hipsters here. Haters beware. And wow, the Charlo brothers, who usually get a lot of hate. I mean, Jermell really can't get that much hate this weekend. I mean, he iced Erickson Lubin, top red-hot prospect, undefeated, who a lot of people were picking. Let's not be forgetting that a lot of people need to call in and eat some crow for picking Lubin. And Charlo went out there and just showed that there's levels of distance between these two guys and these two levels of boxers at this point. I think that Jermell definitely showed that he is at a head above a lot of guys right now, and he may be a class alone in that division potentially, except for maybe another guy that fought on that card. But so much he could do, so much boxing, so much news that dropped that night as well on the Showtime card. Errol Spence versus Lamont Peterson was announced as official, plus Showtime pushing heavily Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence in 2018. Well, a good friend of TBV and good friend of the show, Keith Thurman, was a little more hesitant about that fight happening, I would say, at first. So just tons of news, tons of topics. Cannot wait to chop it up. So let's get into it.
Definitely a lot of topics to talk about. Let's head on out to my own state, the Garden State, for no one else other than the casual fan.
What's up, man? Yeah, I just want to say I saw fight two.
Stay focused, stay working my dad.
If it comes to fight, then I'm going to look for it, man.
I saw fight two.
I think you're accurate.
That's right. I saw the fight last night. Well, all two of the three at least, right? Jarrett Swift Hurd versus Austin No Doubt Trout. And then we have what is probably classified as KO of 2017, which is Jermell Iron Man Charlo versus Erickson the Hammer Lubin. I like that Matt said levels, and levels indeed is what it's about, because what I'm expecting is, I mean, if you're a long time Boxing Voice podcast listener, supporter, your history will tell you there's repeated arguments of being ready. And I'm not talking fight night ready. I'm talking experience. Let's face it, level 10 ready. a fighter 17-0 versus a fighter 25-0, 23-0, 38-0. The Hammer Lubin, who looked amazing against George Cotto, I believe was caught with a blind shot, jumping levels. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a dangerous mistake resulting in a purgatory style KO and Jermell Charlo. So what I'm expecting from callers is like tonight, are they saying Erickson Lubin's fight against Jermell too soon? Or is Jermell really Iron Man? And based off this performance against Lubin, will he be the most avoided fighter come 2018? Then there's Jarrett Hurd against, the youth versus the veteran, no doubt Trout, who looked great. Back and forth fight, very exciting fight. I really enjoyed it. But had Trout had that power, would Jarrett Hurd walk away victorious? Different story indeed, right? So who I choose and like, Jarrett Hurd. Want to see him against Lara. And then another thing, hesitant Thurman. No, it goes back to preparing yourself, being not fight night ready, but level ready. I don't think that Keith Thurman.
Enrique.
Yo.
You haven't been on the show for a while.
I know. You're trying to get it all in one breath. I thought this was the opening. Like, you just opening. Like, you about to get all your shit in one go, huh?
I just consumed a lot yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I had it out.
Let me give it all in one go. Then
when you got it in, you let it out. It's like poetry, but go ahead.
He's a 3-stroke folk, huh? 3-stroke folk over here about to let it all out. Come on, fall back. We got to go down the line. We switched up the categories and put them in a different order, not alphabetical. And we've kind of put it in the entertainment order. And Jermell Charlo and Erickson Lubin. The fight only went one round, a couple of seconds into that round. What could be said? Not very much. Erickson looked comfortable. He seemed to belong. I'm still going to say he seemed to belong. He got caught. Charlo threw a double left jab, right hand, and came under with it. And on the immediate reaction show, I said, damn, what made him throw that under? Did he watch tape, and was it a thing where they noticed Lubin bending at the waist in the past, bending, in the legs, like he did it versus Jorge Cotto. All that could have came into play, but it was just one punch. Hopefully it's a, flash knockout and not a Amir Khan, British Prescott type of knockout.
That was far from flash. I don't even know how you use that word, flash knockout.
Well, hear me out. What I mean is that it was this, because he did try to get up. He
did, but his body didn't let him, and nor did his brain. Stephen Kim put out a tweet, right? You read it to me. He expected this to happen. So now, do we invest again in Lubin?
Yeah, why not?
Just because one reporter thought that he was going to get knocked out or lose this fight. Hold on, very quickly. Just because one reporter or journalist or media member thought that, when a lot of them did. I thought he was going to lose. I didn't think he was going to get knocked out one round. I don't think Steve Kim thought that as well.
Neither did I.
But still, that doesn't mean Lubin's trash, or that Lubin is not at this level, or that he cannot get to this level at some point.
I'm not saying that he's trash. What I am saying is that, boxing fans immediately checked off the bad chin against Amir Khan.
That's what I'm saying.
That box is checked for Erickson Lubin. That's all I have to say.
No, see, that's not how it works. With Amir Khan, that's what I was trying to say, but you cut me off. You don't know revisionist history. You feel me? I brought up British Prescott exactly because of that. Not because Khan only, but because Prescott was the one that knocked out Khan for the first time. Just like Jermell Charlo was the first one to knock out Erickson Lubin. Now, is Lubin going to prove to us that he's Amir Khan or more than that? Because Amir Khan proved to be chinny after that. But people get knocked out. It happens. That's part of this fucking sport.
Should have Erickson Lubin last night been fighting the other fighter, not Charlo? The other fighter, meaning like the names that are coming up now that he should face to step back up to where he.
Listen, Enrique, it's easy to say that in retrospect. It's easy to say that now that Charlo's knocked them out. But you know,
arguments about fighters being ready and not ready.
What do you mean that the argument is? Repeat that.
In the past, there were fights that were made up, like history, fantasy fights with callers, and like for example, Anthony Joshua, one of them. Oh, he's not ready. He's just a 15-0 fighter. You know, another one, Chocolatito, and we saw that, right? There was plenty of fights, man, that fighters that were like Amir Aman. You know, it just keeps going and going. So we saw what happened. So I'm wondering, had Lubin not fought Charlo?
Enrique, if Lubin had fought, let's say, Tony Harrison or Liam Smith before this, or both of them before this, would that have mattered when he got caught with that punch? I don't think so, because I think that punch with the guy who was punching it and throwing that punch, you're going to go out. I think anyone in that division caught with that punch would have gone out that night. I think if Lara got caught with that punch, she would go out. I think anybody in that division that gets caught with that punch would have gone out that night. I don't think it's an indictment on Lubin's.
I'm wondering if it's a mistake.
Especially that punch, Matt.
It may be a mistake that he had been there, but it also may not have mattered if he had fought those guys that you are saying about. It may not have mattered because I think Charlo just may be the better guy. Like, we could just be in the Charlo era. We always talk about that. Like, we don't know really whose era we're in now in these divisions. This could be the Jamel Charlo era of this division. Absolutely. And we could have seen, now we're at what, 4 knockouts in a row by Jamel Charlo? I mean, we are seeing his reign right now. It could be his time. And Lubin just may be a victim in a potential, you know, really great boxer's career. Like, that just could be what we saw last night.
I was picking Erickson Lubin. He also had a string of KOs and TKOs.
Yeah, so, but it's about quality, not quantity.
Exactly. That's what I mean. So the quality opponents, he was not, you know, he faced the super elite. I mean, not even elite. I'm not going to use that. I'm just saying like a level 10 fighter that you should have been able to see that. Like, yo, this dude is nasty. You know, I didn't see it, but now I do. I'm a believer. I saw Erickson Lubin as a great fighter, possibly a killer. When I saw him,
you need to reassess the way that you assess fighters, then, because
I made a mistake.
If you're saying that it's about resume, but you're also saying that Lubin doesn't have one, and Shitty had been here last night, then you're also saying you picked him to beat Charlo, and then you're also saying because Charlo beat Lubin, the guy you picked, now you think fucking Charlo's great. Well, then maybe you need to check how you're checking fighters.
What I'm saying, you're probably right, but what I'm saying is that Charlo has he has a better resume, but I didn't know him as the knockout. He's not even the knockout Charlo. You know what I'm saying?
But that's according to who? Look at what Matt just said. His last 4 straight fights are knockouts, and he has better opposition on his resume than his brother. Who says he's not the better Charlo? You just repeating something you heard.
No, I'm not. I'm repeating what I felt in my mind yesterday.
Okay, so explain how Charlo is the better Charlo.
Or explain why, or what led you to think that way, or what led you to.
I saw one Charlo always looking stronger, and it was Jamal, if my name is correct.
Okay, who'd he knock out that made you say, damn, he's stronger? Because he ain't knock out Trout, or did you forget?
He wiggled Trout out. You know what I'm saying? And he had Trout looking bad.
Him out.
he had Trout wiggling, you know, on the stinky leg.
Jarrett Hurd made him wiggle and quit.
Right, but that's before the fact. What I'm saying is, you know, I don't have enough
ammo in them guns, man. Not enough ammo.
Not yet. No. All right, I apologize for that. But I thought a lot from Erickson Lubin, and seeing him get knocked out with the first only 3 punches that Jermell threw, you know, it just surprised me. It's like, what's going on? Why did that happen? You know what I'm saying? Why did that happen? What do people think about Lubin that put him against this lion Iron Man, you know?
Well, we're gonna find out. We're definitely gonna be taking phone calls. You know the number 14255695241. Press 1 one time. International callers, add Nestor Gibbs on Skype, and that's NESTORGIBBS. So before we move on, What do you want to see next, casual fan? Cash Wheezy. Who do you want to see? Iron Man, as you call him.
I think he's gonna be avoided.
Who do you want to see him fight? He called out Jarrett Hurd. You think it happens?
No, I think that Jarrett Hurd versus Lara is probably a bigger fight, because as you told me yesterday, numbers count, and somehow Lara was the main event and not Lubin Charlo. So yeah.
Hold on. Did you see the crowd? Did you see the crowd during the Charlo Lubin fight, and then did you see the crowd during the Lara fight?
Well, the powers that be put it together. They know more than you, than the crowd.
Well, they obviously don't know because people left the arena before the main event.
Yeah, but let's not forget that even Hurd himself said he wants Lara because his mandatory is a southpaw. Trout was a southpaw, and Laura's going to be a southpaw, so he would just be.
Lara presents the legitimacy. If you beat Lara, you're the guy in the division. Just because it's Lara doesn't mean he equals more money. I don't think that at all.
Well, I think that first of all, you're wrong. I'm going to tell you why you're wrong, because I'm not thinking. You're thinking. I'm not assuming. We both know now when I tell you this that Lara was the highest paid fighter on that card.
Yes, but neither one. I don't think anyone
was the main
event. Sums it up.
No one on this card is a star.
No, but that sums it up. He's the highest paid fighter.
Just because he gets paid more than anyone doesn't mean Hurd's going to get paid more fighting.
Yo, come on, Matt.
Doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that.
Matt, camera's only on you now because I want the people to look at you clearly.
Look at me.
Look at you. Let me talk. Let me talk. Let me talk. You're honestly saying that a man who gets 700 to 800,000 to fight a Terrell Gausha type of guy,
you want to know why?
Gets in the ring with Jarrett Hurd for an IBF unification after Hurd legitimized himself with a Trout win, and they're not going to make $1 million plus?
You want to know why?
Stop it, man.
You want to know why?
The hole is so
you
deep.
Know why?
The hole is so deep.
And then
you and all your friends are going to fall in the poor hole because you dug it that deep.
Yo.
Everyone, the dog, everyone.
Think about this. If it's Lara who's the bigger star, as you say, wouldn't he get a bigger star?
I didn't say the word star.
It doesn't matter.
It's not star. It's not star.
It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. It is about money. No, it is.
Not for my
the whole conversation was money.
You don't know my
You said it wouldn't happen because of the money, and that's all we're talking about.
You don't know my question.
You're trying to change the topic.
You want to know my question?
Change.
If Lara, let's say, gets more money than everyone on that card, does he not get a bigger split, let's say, in a Lara Hurd fight? Then let's say Hurd fighting Charlo, he would get a more even split, maybe get more money as a result of that.
I hear you. No. Hell no.
Come on.
There's not that pot isn't big enough.
Lara
all right.
Hurd is not
he loves
50-50.
arguing.
Lara Hurd is not 50-50.
Guys, he loves
Hurd,
arguing about
Charlo,
anything.
Maybe 50-50.
He loves arguing about anything.
I do.
So that means you want to see Hurd Charlo rather, because you argued all that to say that, right?
I think Charlo
exciting fight
sense, and I think Lara versus Andrade coming back down to 154 makes the most sense.
Some hipster shit. What about you, Enrique?
I think Charlo's a dangerous fight based off of last night. You know what I'm saying? For Jarrett Hurd, what we seen. I mean, again, styles make fights, so I don't know how Jarrett Hurd will present himself in front of Charlo, but I think the most lucrative is Lara, so yeah, great fight either way. But I think Lara will be before Charlo. I think Charlo avoided.
Totally agree with you. It's time we move on to one of those parties in question that we were speaking of. Jarrett Swift Hurd made his first defense versus Austin Trout, and what can you say? At times, I wasn't too happy with his style, hands down, giving up his face. The only thing I can think of is Trout didn't hurt him, and he just wanted to walk his man down. He wanted to make a statement and getting a knockout, and that's the best way that he, felt he can do it. He didn't feel the need to block as much, and he did result in a few cuts, but that was from a headbutt. There was a lot of blood. It added to the excitement of the fight. Trout, he didn't make it out the corner, right? I'm correct. He didn't make it out. They stopped it from the corner.
His corner stopped it. Yes.
Yeah. I think Trout was boxing beautifully in the beginning.
He ran out of gas.
He ran out of gas. He started getting
that
sloppy.
pressure.
When he would jump in, land a combo, he was so sloppy in his technique that he would just stay there and get caught with those big shots from the bigger, stronger, more powerful guy in Hurd. And he eventually just wore him down. He eventually just wore out Trout. Like Trout wore himself out in the process too of just landing a lot of these shots and none of them really having an effect on Jarrett Hurd. I'm not going to say Jarrett Hurd is proven now because he definitely showed a lot of flaws in this. But one thing we cannot deny is that he is durable. And another thing we cannot deny is that he has some power.
Well,
maybe not the power that Charlo has, but he has some respectable power.
Well, is it?
He has something.
Is it power or is it weight bullying? Is he too big? I mean, he looked like a giant. You know what he looked like? He looked like one of those giants from Game of Thrones, bro. The motherfucker was huge. He was.
Yeah, but he made weight comfortably, it looked like.
And he did. He wore. I'm glad you brought it up. He had his socks and boxers on. Socks and boxers and still weighed in at 153. So, you know, I guess it ain't weight bullying if you can make weight, brother. That's all I'm saying.
With your socks, especially.
What?
With your socks and underwears on, especially.
Especially. That means he was working, though, you know. And that goes back to the style of fight that he chose to fight. Some of us may think that he was tired, and that's why his hands were down. Others may think it was game plan. And, you know, that's why he got the knockout the way that he did. He got Trout to quit. Trout didn't quit or get stopped by Jermell Charlo. But I don't hear anyone overly excited about this particular performance with Hurd and Trout.
What do you mean excited? I thought everyone thought it was a really great fight. I heard some people say it was fight of the year. Honestly.
Well, I mean, when you compare it to Jermell, casual, who do you think got the win better?
You mean Jamel?
No, Jermell.
Jamel.
I'm the one that beat Trout last year.
Oh, okay. All right, you're talking about Trout wins. Okay.
Well, I don't remember that fight offhand, but I do remember Jarrett Hurd being that is so fresh last night. There was, you know, Jarrett Hurd is the younger fighter, really coming out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I don't know any of his opponents that he's faced before. I just know his name because, you know, social media is the way that we pick up boxing, at least me right now, the most, other than podcasts, the Boxing Voice. And it was a great fight. Trout, crafty. He kept really busy and, you know, landing combos, moving, combo, punching and landing and no defense, as you said, from Hurd. But when Hurd land, it looked stronger. You know, it looked effective. It wobbled Trout. So I'm not sure how Jermell looked against him. I know he beat him. I don't remember highlights of that fight. But someone said in the chat, yeah, Hurd would have absorbed a Charlo punch. So that's the next thing. Like, yeah, he's a big dude. So that may be a hell of a fight, you know? So I just feel that Hurd did well, man. When his hands were down, he did better. So
that is true. I do want to back you on that. I think that when he was down in his little plotting, stalking style, is when he had more effect on Trout. He was leading with the right. He was shooting those shots from weird positions and angles. It was just odd, I think, for Trout. He was cutting the distance so quickly because he's so big as well.
But let's be honest.
He followed Trout a lot, though. He didn't cut much. He followed a lot.
But it was consistent pressure, whether it be body shots or blows or just that mental, damn, this fucker's in front of me nonstop.
Another thing to think about is that Trout landed a lot of clean shots that just had no effect on Hurd. If Charlo lands those shots on Hurd, do they have that no effect factor in the Trout fight?
Of course not. Hurd appeared that his nose was broken and, you know, his mouth was all lumped up. When he spoke, you could see inside his lip. So he did get some cuts inside his mouth that we did not see. And then, of course, a Charlo weight class would be much more apparent that he's being bruised up. But he looked good.
I didn't want to compare the fighters in a fight. I'm comparing the fighters in their performances versus Trout, not necessarily like, you know,
it becomes that
Hurd,
though. You know, it evolves into
I mean,
that.
it's easy for me to distinguish that one is not in that division anymore. So I'm solely taking his, fights at 54 and comparing him to Hurd's performance
No, I'm
versus
talking
Trout.
about Jermell Charlo fighting Jarrett Hurd. Because we know that Jamel has power. We saw that he just knocked out Lubin in 1 round.
Yeah.
If he lands those clean
And
shots
that
on Jarrett
wasn't-
Hurd, he could potentially put out Hurd just like he put out Lubin.
And listen, that wasn't a bad stoppage at all. Like, that was a knockout. Like, his motor skills were gone. His brain wanted him to get up.
It looked terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, people were saying seizures and everything. It was crazy, man. Thank God he is good. He was up and ready. And I've seen quotes of him saying
Seemed very coherent.
Very coherent. I've seen quotes of him saying, that he could have continued and probably could after a couple of minutes of getting himself together, but not those 10 seconds that are allotted with that,
No, he would have been
10-second
hurt. He would have
bell.
been seriously hurt.
Very hurt. So let's wrap up the Hurd. Who do you want to see him with? Casual fan, Casueezy.
Hurd? I just said I would rather see Hurd versus Lara.
Hurd Lara.
Yeah, immediately.
Hurd Charlo, I think, is going to be a fantastic fight. The build up to that's going to be fun.
I think that's a good fight, but I think Hurd should get through Lara first. Who fought the Charlos, like, was sparring buddies and stuff like that.
We spoke about Lara kind of being that money man in the division.
Or just the legitimacy fight, he's that that
I
Klitschko
think
fight. He's the Klitschko fight.
I think we can wrap that one up in a bow as both at this point. He's been the longest reigning champion in this division. He has the best resume in this division, even though it's slowly starting to decline. Like, he needs one of these Hurd's Charlo names on his resume at this point.
He needs something.
So,
Gaucher, Yuri Foreman, we can't take those anymore.
No. Now, we don't want to call him a star, but he has held a pay-per-view with Canelo. Out of any other 54-pounder, he's the only one that was at least a B-side on a pay-per-view. I'm pretty sure his mandatory minimum is high, as we've seen. He got like $750 or $850 yesterday.
His purse.
I thought he got $850 yesterday, something like that.
Did he? I don't know. I
don't know. I thought it was $850, $750, but find it out.
Leo got $750.
I know. So imagine what that super welterweight is getting. So even though that doesn't say much, I'm not trying to make his next fight be a pay-per-view. That's not what I'm going down. What I'm going down, the street I'm going down, Casual, is the world that we live in. Lara is the Adonis Stevenson, Andre Ward, Terrence Crawford, Gennady or Canelo in his respected division. He is the guy that can quickly get you legitimized, and you, like Matt said, will be known as the man because you beat the man in the division. Canelo at 54 was always just the name. When Cotto stopped at 54, he was just a name. It signified a big fight. Speaking of big, part of this particular topic, the numbers for this fight didn't do well. And even internally for internet, the interest was low. At the barbershop today, I was asked about when's the next big fight. I said, shit, didn't you see last night's card? He said, no, just you. Just you seen it. Matt was there. Witness, and obviously, that's common.
But that's why this was an interesting matchup. Interesting fights last night because no one really knows who Jarrett Hurd is unless they follow boxing online. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Erickson Lubin. And possibly even with the Charlos. And
no, that's my point, and that's the one I'm trying to make. It's like
you don't know about who Lara is unless they really, really follow boxing. They know all those guys. So you have to really go into a place where a guy knew who Erickson Lubin was to be like, yo, you saw last night's fights?
No, that's exactly my point, Cash. I'm trying to say, if that's what this means, right? That no one knows these great fighters, and that in this division, the greatest fighter is Lara, who's also unknown, then how do these guys become stars?
Very quickly before you answer that statement, Casual, I have the purses for that card.
What Lara got?
Lara got $700,000. Terrell Gausha got $250,000. Jermell Charlo got $450,000. Lubin got $225,000. Hurd got $330,000, and Trout got $225,000.
So that's all I'm saying, man. Put that into perspective. If Lara is getting $700 for Gausha, zero experience, nowhere near his level, where every bookie in every world, under every nook and cranny of the world, would have picked Lara as the favorite that he was. He was a 2250 underdog, okay? 2,250 minus 2,250. Okay, you had to put up 2,250 just to make $100. Damn it! So if he's getting that amount of money casual to beat on Terrell Gausha, he's gonna require more money to fight a Charlo who was a previous stablemate. There's storyline and drama that's hard to make. It's going to cost money to make, even though he came out already on his post-fight and said, yo, you know, that business is business. Yeah. You know, he said business is business. But again, how do you offer these guys $2 million, $1.5 million, $1.5 million each, casual and Matt, to make these fights versus the Charlos or the Hurds of the world or of the division if no one is watching, if no one cares?
That's a Steven Espinoza question.
They're not on the pay grade yet. Lara got $1 million only for the Canelo fight. Think about that. I don't know if he got pay-per-view upside, but guaranteed money, he only got $1 million for Canelo. These guys aren't at that pay grade yet. They may have to take unifications at just the six-figure range. And guess what? Unfortunately, you may have to beat all these guys in unified to get to that, eight-figure range or seven-figure range. You may have to do that, unfortunately. And that unfortunately takes making tough fights and winning those tough fights and becoming an undisputed champion and then somehow turning that into being a household name. And right now, you got 3 guys, maybe 4 if you include Andrade, all in that hunt. And Lara's at the end of that. Let's be honest, Lara's not going to be a household name. So really, it's Charlo and Hurd. Which one of those 2 guys is going to be the guy?
Neither of them are household names, so I don't know why he's saying
neither of them are, but they are on the hunt to be that, to be the top dog in their division and be a star. Is Showtime doing the right thing by that? Is PBC doing the right thing by that?
I think Showtime did the best thing they can do by doing this triple header, exposing them all at once. That was, I think, intelligent production. The problem is how many people watched it. How many people cared?
I think all the boxing fans, the real boxing fans, I think they all watched it. I'm sure they all tuned into Showtime. You know what I'm saying?
But what number is that?
I don't know what number it is. It's probably what the minimum would be if it were a pay-per-view event. If Bernard Hopkins fought Chad Dawson, what was that number?
Damn, that was like 50, I believe, right?
Yeah, but that was paying to watch.
I know.
I'm sure. I'm just saying. I'm just sure that if 50,000 watched to pay Bernard Hopkins Dawson, if you have a Showtime subscription, I'm sure there were 900, 1 million watched throughout the country.
I don't know, man. I just see, look, I guess we can finish up the Lara topic by saying Lara beat Gausha. He put him down. I expected more. I felt like Gausha was not on his level. Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. It went the distance.
Yes.
Sad. Like, I don't want to be that guy. That's not who I want to be. I don't want to be the guy that says that the Cuban fighter is boring. That's not what I'm doing.
But that was a boring fight.
But
based off what it followed after.
You can't fight someone at least, and no disrespect to Gausha, at least 2-3 levels. So we thought. So applaud Gausha. Producer, give him a fucking applaud. He was a 22-50 underdog.
He was,
and he went the distance.
We all thought he was gonna get knocked out.
Everyone thought who didn't think that?
I didn't think that. Lara's not a knockout guy.
Yeah, you didn't think that because you are the casual fan.
I didn't think that.
And you think, like a casual, all Cubans are defensive-sounded boxers. When that does happen, it does. But
I learned it yesterday. I was like, wow, because I enjoyed Rigondeaux versus Nonito Donaire.
So did I. The problem with Lara is he's not like, yo, he's just jab, 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 jab. Like he wants to wait. He's waiting on counters. You know what I mean? He's not really a seek and destroy type of guy, bro. That's gonna affect him, man. Gausha gave a good account of himself, but no one thought he was on this level. Like, honestly, Matt, try to be honest here, and maybe Matt, Enrique is knowledgeable enough on this one and can do the same. Harrison versus Gausha announced, sound sealed, and delivered before you ever heard of Lara versus Gausha. You telling me you're still not picking Tony Harrison over Gausha?
I'm picking Tony Harrison, absolutely. I've seen Gausha lose and get a very gifted scorecard.
Exactly.
Or scorecards, I should say.
Like, again, this ain't me coming down on Lara. It's just like, yo, you the man in the division. Act like one.
But he may not be anymore, unfortunately. This may be a passing the torch in the next 6 months, 9 months, a year.
Well, they need to do it because this entire topic, this third topic, all ties into a previous show and even this week's topic here, which is Thurman and Errol Spence, and you got to sprinkle in Miguel Cotto. I fucking told you guys, someone needs to fight Cotto. And again, I'm gonna give you our reasoning why. Not yet, Matt, because I'm going back to the numbers for the Charlos and for Lubin and for Trout and for Hurd, and me and Matt looking at the numbers and being disappointed,
very quickly, when
not understanding.
We say numbers, we mean like internet numbers, traffic.
Internet, yes,
and not just our outlet, but
the world's.
Every outlet,
Showtimes, tweets, any tweets. The Showtime, the fighters themselves. I mean, look,
every other.
Terrence Crawford was watching the fight. He tweeted out, "Oh shit, how many retweets did it get? 86." He's gotten more for other fights while he's watching live. Interest is what we're gauging. That's what we're tracking over here. That's what's important.
And there really was no interest in the
you could go out and beat 100 Erickson Lubins, but if no one is watching, it doesn't matter. And for Lubin, it's horrible. If this fight doesn't do well, he went out without anyone knowing. You know what I'm saying? Versus who he did it.
And like to put it in perspective, Joseph Parker versus Hughie Fury, which is relatively a hardcore fight, right? I would say they're not mainly casual, known people, and that was on YouTube. Everyone in the U.S. could have seen that; they could have paid for it and seen it. We had traffic of, I think it was 58,000 views on our live fight chat within 24 hours.
Yeah, but forget about us. We're just one. What about Box Nation, who actually had the pay-per-view? How many thousands went to YouTube and purchased the pay-per-view there?
A lot. We have no idea what those numbers are yet.
You know? No, they were showing a live number count of how many people were watching.
No, they were not. And the prelims, they were.
During the live fight, they didn't show that number?
No, they did not show.
Oh, that was slick.
Yeah, of course it's slick.
I seen the number definitely for the prelim.
To finish the point. The fight last night did less than a tenth of that, I would say, or about a tenth of that within 24 hours, the same time frame. It did a tenth of that fight. When we thought us here in the U.S. thought it was such a big fight for us. We thought Charlo is on his way to be a star. Lubin's this huge up-and-coming prospect. Lara fought Canelo, blah, 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 blah. So far, it doesn't look that way. And it's going to be very curious to see. I'm very curious to see what the Showtime numbers are.
These fights are all co-main events.
You're right. All these fights have been co-main on bigger cards.
Yeah, but that's the problem. See, Erickson Lubin, Jermell Charlo, a Trout Hurd, those were significant fights in the division. Those fights should have moved the needle. Those are top 5, top 10 going at it. That should have meant something.
Then maybe it was the promotion. You know what I'm saying? I knew about the fight, but the people who did not know, Steven Espinoza has that answer. You know, he did not promote where boxing is not promoted, you know. So
but casual, that's what brings me to my point about Miguel Cotto and guys like Errol Spence turning down the fight, Mikey Garcia turning down the fight, Danny Garcia turning down the fight. You know, and obviously the most popular reason, and we don't have all the information. And Mikey, Danny, Earl, I'm not sitting here saying that you know, I know the right answers or that, you know, my way is the right way, but the numbers are obvious. The numbers are obvious. The quickest way to some sort of stardom is taking out a past star. Miguel Cotto is that last of the Mohicans out there. Pacquiao is gone. Mayweather is gone. Who else can give you that? These 54-pounders, they needed that. They needed, and even Trout had that, right? Trout beat Cotto, and his capitalization off of that was at least he got that Canelo fight. That was a big payday. He's probably set for life off that and the pay-per-view upside.
Off the big payday of Cotto as well.
Off the big payday of Cotto. He earned the Canelo fight. So, you know, and yes, it probably didn't work for Trout in terms of popularity. He didn't get any bigger because he lost to Canelo. Had he capitalized off the Cotto fight, like I'm hoping a Earl or a Mikey or a Danny will, you win off of the Cotto fight and go on to be great in your next fight to get that stardom, which was the opportunity Trout had, but he failed against Canelo when everyone was looking. But you need that name. Why? Because this happens. You get, you know, these amazing fights and no one knows. No one watched.
I mean, very quickly, because both you guys are from the New York tri-state area, I mean, and this fight was in the New York area. Was there a big push during fight week? Were these guys on Breakfast Club? Was Jarrett Hurd on Breakfast Club?
No.
Were any of these guys like?
I don't even know if they
back
were
to Enrique's point of promotion.
Yeah, it was a promotion.
Promoted correctly, I would say. Especially when you are in the #1 media capital of the world, how do you not utilize it? How are these guys not on the radio circuit, not on the morning TV show circuit? How are they not doing that?
To be honest, Matt, it's even hard for me to say whether or not this was promoted or not. I'm so invested in this sport that I automatically knew about the fight.
I don't know.
And it's a hardcore fight.
Hopefully,
like I loved it. I was already drawn in.
Hopefully, maybe Enrique knows because he watches more like that. I think that media scene or any of our callers know. I'm very curious about that.
His commute too. Like he's always on the way to New York for his job. And Enrique, I mean, you know, they always got billboards.
Were there billboards?
Yes. There's always billboards for boxing. HBO boxing. HBO boxing on the way to the Lincoln Tunnel. Did you happen to see anything since this was a New York City fight? Did you see some buildings
or hear anything
plastered with some big Jarrett Hurd posters or something?
Not at all. Nope. Sad. I learned about this fight on
Jamel Lions only posters out there.
Nah, man, they fucking up.
A whole building, a fucking Brooklyn Bed-Stuy wasn't painted and shit.
Nah, nothing by the Biggie Smalls mural, none of that.
Damn. Nah. Yo, I'm gonna say another mistake. Someone tell me in my chat, does the Charlos have a .com? How can I get those sweatpants, right? Was I the only one that liked the sweatpants at the weigh-in, Lion Zone?
Or the shirts? Keep running your mouth or whatever.
What?
Like that.
Whoa. Can you put it in your mouth? What the?
No. Keep
running your mouth.
Oh, come on, man. You clean your sinuses. You over there sounding a little iffy, right? Can you put it? Whoa! Can you put it in your mouth? Yo, that should show an overtime or something.
That was a pause moment right there.
I'm saying, people, right? Can you put it in your mouth? Yeah, keep running your mouth. Keep running your mouth shirts. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, but I mean, I like the sweatpants, Matt. I didn't see a way to get them.
I have no idea.
Enrique, you in the boxing fan apparel fucking industry. I mean, did you know how to come across those Lions only sweatpants?
Nah, man, since the conch days, but no, not at all.
Well, there you go, man. Let's somebody says sweatpants.charlo.com. I love our chat, for real, for real. So the other part of the Errol Spence was he didn't take the Cotto fight, and I think that's the quickest way to start him. It would have worked for the 154 pounders, but the problem is getting Cotto in with a 154 pounder. Cotto obviously told Golden Boy, hey, find me anybody 147 and under. So they contacted Mikey, they contacted Danny, they contacted Earl. Everyone said no. No one wanted to sign a Golden Boy contract, Enrique and Matt.
Matt, messed up. Because if he, like you said, I mean, they should know this by now. Like, you're not the only guy with that information. You beat the veteran, the biggest, the old star. You know, you become the star. I think Errol Spence immediately would have been the star because, you know, they would have gave him the edge. You know, Mikey Garcia immediately would have became a star.
I don't know. See, for him, it is different, I think.
Mexican, bro.
Mikey, it's easier. What are you talking about?
I think Danny and Earl had the most upside.
I think all three, it would have been a well invested fight.
And I know that people will argue the Mikey Garcia Mexican upside. I just think because he's realistically not big enough to remain at the weight, the win doesn't really the win lasts as long as it lasts, but it doesn't. He doesn't capitalize. I don't think. I don't think he capitalizes.
He can capitalize it just by
how?
Him.
All right.
Him.
So the capitalization for anyone who beats a Miguel Cotto is the next big fight, which would be Canelo.
No, that's not potentially the next big fight because he could become the next big fight. Come on.
He would have to
Mikey Canelo isn't smart. That's why. That's why I don't think that happens.
Yeah. But if you're a guy like Earl and you beat a guy like Cotto, all of a sudden
Canelo,
and you're signed to Golden Boy, all of a sudden you become a commodity for Canelo.
And imagine Canelo versus Earl. But
listen to me.
But you're right
bro.
about Mikey versus. You're right
if you're Danny Garcia, and you beat a guy like Cotto, and you're Puerto Rican, now you're soaking all those official Puerto Ricans, and you become a commodity for a guy like Canelo. Mexico versus Puerto Rico, a young guy versus a young guy.
Very quickly, shout out to our junior producer, Bruce, saying that there is a website called charloboxing.com.
There you go. Do they got the sweats there, Bruce?
I'll look at it right now.
Pick me up a pair. I'm going to put them on my Amazon wish list for all my listeners. I'm going to set up an Amazon wish list. I want some fucking Christmas gifts. I've been doing this show for 6 years. No gift. Nobody even sent me a thank you card.
Oh, shut up.
You know how much hell I've gone through? Only Matt knows all the hell I've been through. And I get no thank you.
I know what you
meant.
Well, I'm looking for these sweats.
So why you look for the sweats? You can't play my sad beat?
Yo, you know I'm busy. Why are you complaining?
And Enrique over there in his low voice talking about, I know what you've been through.
Okay, so unfortunate news.
They don't have the sweats.
Play the soundbite.
They don't have the They don't have the sweats.
Just play.
Yo, they're gonna hate us more now. They're gonna be like, yo, fucking boxing voice. Oh, they hating because we ain't got no shorts.
Yo, why are you stealing my soundbite? But anyways. They only have 4 products in their store right now.
Yeah, because those is exclusive. Listen, only Enrique knows. Enrique, teach them what they did.
I'm lost. I didn't even hear.
All right, I'll teach you what Enrique taught me. What they did. You put the stuff on the site, but then the exclusive, you make it exclusive.
It ain't a
make the one-offs. Like, yo, oh, you want them line only sweats? All right, 125 hundo, one-off.
Well, why don't you just put that on the store?
It's a one-off, dog. It's exclusivity. The way the iPhone came out, and everybody don't care about the Android.
Exclusive, like using that word is just an excuse to charge more. Why not just charge more and make it free? Is not an excuse. It's actually a doorway to an exclusive group of people who only have those sweats. Wouldn't having all your fans have your apparel be more important? Because you only have.
All my fans having all my apparel would be important, but my official tissue fans having my exclusive Lions only sweats, that would be more important.
Look, he has
like the Yeezys, man.
Look, the Yeezys.
You're not getting them right away.
Look, we wasting way too much time on that. We're gonna go back to Earl. We were saying Earl easily had a Canelo fight if he won the Cotto. We think Danny, and we're not going to argue. We're even saying that Mikey. So we're all in agreement that someone should have took this Golden Boy deal. Do you believe that, Enrique, or do you think that these Al Haymon fighters are better off doing what they've been doing?
I think they wanted it, but they were advised, yo, you deserve more money. That's a dangerous fight that could end you, or that could make you super popular. And you know, risk, and the money wasn't there. So
I don't think it was the money, because I think somebody even said in a quote, I don't know if it was Mikey or Earl, said the money was fine. It's just there's other parts of the deal. I think there's other things in the deal about maybe exclusive rights, likeness rights, all those things that we just don't know about in a contract that big that may not be advantageous to the person signing it.
Right, but also
even saying don't sign it. We don't know.
Put yourself in Golden Boy's shoes now, and offering, you know, them a deal. Money versus, yo, now I'm giving you all this money, but you have to do this. I think it's the do this is where they disagree with. So that may be part of the money. You know what I'm saying? Because doing this is worth more money. So yeah, I think whatever that this is, you know, like being under the banner of Golden Boy for whatever amount of time or whatever amount of bouts, just doesn't equal what Mikey Garcia probably adds up as a free agent fight 3 times. Is the reason why I think that
there's a possibility. Listen, I seen an October 11th interview with Louis Sandoval, good friend of mine in the industry, who interviewed Mikey Garcia for Fight Hype, and Mikey made it clear that he was not offered the $2 million that was rumored on the Lance Pugmire article. He said that he's not going to push the issue because he wants to leave those doors open to continue further business. They didn't have any bad split. There's still conversations for Linares, so he's in a good position. Look, everyone has their reasons. There's a secondary part to this topic. Obviously, Errol Spence turning down the Cotto fight was only part A. You know, B is what he really wanted is Thurman, and Thurman isn't available. He's not coming back till possibly March of 2018, and he's made it abundantly clear, Matt, that he's getting a tune-up.
Thurman definitely made it clear that he does not want to fight Spence coming off this injury.
You're wording that wrong. But yeah, he does not want to fight Spence immediately.
How did I word it wrong?
He said coming off the injury, that is exactly what he does not want to do.
No, he is right, but you make it seem like he's like, nah, I don't want to fight him right now.
No, he's doing.
But that's the smart way, though. That's smart. That's like, why would you fight him if you're still recovering, right?
You got to be 100% if you're going to go into a fight that requires you to be 100.
That doesn't mean what I said was false. What I said was absolutely 100% true. You just interpreted that it was negative. Thurman's smart. He knows that he shouldn't fight an Errol Spence coming off an elbow surgery. I just hope that his level of opposition doesn't drop dramatically, because we see that Errol Spence is at least fighting a top 10 opponent. So hopefully Keith Thurman at least keeps it credible in some sort or some sense. So hopefully we get this fight in 2018. But again, even Thurman was a little bit hesitant about this fight happening in 2018 at first. And then Brian Custer and Errol Spence, and everyone was kind of pressing him throughout the entire telecast about it. They even forced them to stand next to each other, sit next to each other, do interviews with each other over and over again. Showtime and the industry and everyone wants this fight because everyone knows it's a potential huge fight. But Keith is a little bit hesitant right now, talking about, getting married and everything like that. So I just wonder if that fire is still there for Keith.
It's hesitant. That's what's making it negative. It's not hesitant. He's not hesitant. He wants it too. He said it. He said in the past that the first thing he said to Errol Spence when he met him, whatever year that was, we're going to meet each other. And now, fast forward 2017, I have what you want. You have what I want. We're going to meet. You know what I'm saying? There was no like, yo, I'll think about it. It was like, yo, I'm going to recover. I'm going to fill out my elbow. I'm going to have this tune-up fight. And yeah, 2018, we may be meeting. So, Keith Thurman's the truth.
Said the word maybe.
Maybe, because if he fills out his elbow and it doesn't feel 100%, why should he fight if he's not 100%? Because you want it?
Listen, Matt's always gonna paint his narrative, man. He tries to be the Riddler of the show or the Penguin, whatever. It's all good.
I don't know how I'm either one of those characters.
Because you want to be the villain.
I just want the best fights.
And if you want the best fight, do you want the guy going in there not 100%? Is that the best to you? That's the type of best that you want to accept?
Do we really think that Keith Thurman that just said, I want to fight 3 times this year isn't ready for Errol Spence sometime this year? Like, do we really think that?
You're the one trying to paint the narrative that he might not fight him this year, 2018.
I didn't paint that. Enrique just said the word
no,
maybe.
you are.
Enrique just said the word maybe. So
hesitant. That's
emphasizing it. You're emphasizing it.
Because there's no guarantee of it. Why not sign an Andre Ward?
Yo, you know, and that's what I hate about this sport. You know what I mean? You got a guy like Keith that, you know, pull up his resume there.
Keith's one of the best. Keith's one of my favorite boxers of all time.
He's probably got one of the best resumes at welterweight current date. Bradley's gone.
He has the best
Bradley's
resume.
gone.
He has the best resume at welterweight. Right?
Pacquiao's gone. He's probably one of the best resumes at welterweight current date.
100%.
And people have the nerve to insinuate that he's sometimes run time, duck time, whatever fucking time. You guys are a bunch of losers, man. Get in the ring yourselves, really. It's crazy, bro. I mean, the dude fought Porter, Diego Chavez. Anybody you ask him to fight, Danny Garcia.
Here's the thing. I don't.
Guerrero.
You know, and Enrique know how much I respect and how much I love watching Thurman and how much I view him, where I view him in the pound for pound. I rank him pretty high. I rank him in that top 10 pound for pound. The fact is, if he does not fight Errol Spence in 2018, the fans, not me necessarily, but the fans are going to be upset at him dramatically.
Yo, listen, he don't got to be upset. Earl just stepped on the scene. He got his belt when? This year, right? In May.
It doesn't matter.
Let me finish. This year, you were just supposed to say yes or no, okay? Yes, he got his belt.
I said 2 words.
Confirm. He got his belt this year?
Yes.
All right. He's still young. Let him do his thing. Because how long it took Canelo and Triple G?
A lot of fans weren't happy about that.
But
you bring up a great point. Was Canelo not ducking Triple G for a period of time to
marination sometimes
or
is
letting
the
Triple
best.
G get older, so it's easier to
marination, Enrique, and you know about this. Sometimes is the best percolation. Okay, them numbers for Canelo are rumored to be sexy, is all I know. Even the low number is a good number.
We never doubted it was gonna be a good number.
You got to build the interest. That's why the Lubin Charlo fight didn't do well. There was really no interest. It was fast.
Stop it. If Canelo
that's how you tell him, Enrique. Casual
G,
fan speaking.
If Canelo had fought Triple G the day after he fought Cotto, it would have done the numbers it did a month ago.
It was established.
Yo, Matt, I ain't get to play this in
same exact
Matt,
numbers.
I ain't get to play this in a long time. I ain't get to play this in a long time.
Why the fuck you lying?
Why you always lying?
Do you think that, Ness? Do you think that the numbers it would do?
I think if he would have fought
2 years ago would be less than what it did a month ago.
I think that we wouldn't know, Matt. I think that we wouldn't know. All we know is that the fight got made, and the fight is rumored to do great numbers.
I think it would have done great numbers if it was the next fight after.
All I know is that boxing, you know, is historical for marination. Marination is that's the way.
And marination is the positive way.
Well, listen. We've already had no, man. Listen, we've already had 2 non-marinated fights. Jermell Charlo versus Julian Williams and Jermell Charlo versus Erickson Lubin.
True.
Marination sometimes is part of progress, brothers. Listen, Keith, final thoughts on that? I mean, look, I'm okay with it just like casual. He's got to test the elbow, man. That tennis elbow is a motherfucker.
Well, I think he's smart, and he's also very vague in his interviews usually when he goes to Showtime, I feel like. Like, he doesn't really give very specific
he
answers.
can't get open. He needs us to go down to Florida. You know how it is.
Exactly.
He needs to kick it to it with us in a poetry fashion with casual.
I think no matter what he said last night, Al Heyman.
It ain't the real.
Al Heyman, him, and Earl have this whole thing mapped out. They do.
Because
we know that Keith Thurman has his fights planned 6 to 9 months ahead of time.
We know that.
He told us that every time. 6 to 9 months ahead of time, I know who I'm fighting.
And whatever Keith tells you, you believe.
Yeah.
Because you're a Keith fanboy.
Of course.
But I'm not a Keith Wilder fanboy, huh?
You're 100% all those people a fanboy. You are Keith, Danny,
Lubin
and
J
Robert.
Rock. I like that trending topic. I said that yesterday, man. That's a good fight, man. I like that Lubin J Rock. Listen, I want to put a little crazy ass headlines today, right? We're talking about Danny Garcia and the fact that, he should have took that Miguel Cotto fight, possibly fought him at 54. Everyone is like, yo, no. Don't sign no Golden Boy contract. Cool. That's cool. Forget the contract. Forget Golden Boy. Forget all that. Let's just remain with the thought of Danny Garcia fighting Miguel Cotto at 54. Enrique, do you think that he could even beat Miguel Cotto at 54?
I don't know, man. It's a tough call. I've been a fan of Cotto for a very, very long time. And Danny Garcia, probably twice as long as I've been a fan of Danny Garcia's. But I like them both. I would like Danny Garcia to win because Cotto's bye-bye after that fight. And I don't know, man. It's a tough fight, man. Garcia can fight, man. He surprises us all the time. It's not even like figuring out how to win. He just has it, I think he can beat Cotto, the old Cotto. And it would be a war, though. I think it possibly can be a bloodfest. You know what I'm saying?
No, but does he beat the Cotto that you've seen versus Kamagai? Because that's the last Cotto you know.
To be honest, I didn't even see that fight. That was like a same fight. Oh, that was the same night as the Mayweather-McGregor. I wasn't even in town in the country.
Yo, you're a fake Puerto Rican, man.
Yo, I was in Puerto Rico.
That's crazy, man.
I didn't see that fight. So do you?
Yo, that's not even right. You did that to Cotto like that.
I know I was wrong, and I feel guilty. I slashed my wrist for it.
Well, let's go to Matt and see. Damn, you slashed your wrist. Jesus, no.
Yeah, that's how hardcore I am. Nah, I'm fucking with you, but yeah, go ahead.
So Matt,
yes,
Danny Cotto. It was rumored, a lot of money, big deals, a lot of options, a lot of upside for Danny.
We had talked about this beforehand before the show, and I was pretty sure Danny would beat him. And then you made a very good argument for Miguel Cotto, and then it had me very conflicted, to be honest. I think it's a winnable fight for Danny. I'm not going to say I pick him, but the Cotto I saw versus Kamagai was not impressive. That was an old version of Kamagai. I don't think Cotto does well with anyone that is young, athletic, and in their prime. And Danny is still that. Danny is still young. Danny is still athletic. Danny is still in his prime. People are having this revisionist history of that Keith Thurman fight. That was a highly close fight.
And that's a great experience too for Danny Garcia.
Yeah, and I think Danny Garcia is the fresher guy. And in boxing, when you're getting punched in the head, being the fresher guy means a lot. Look at Jarrett Hurd versus Austin Trout. Austin Trout was clearly the better boxer, but he's a little bit more worn and torn down than Jarrett Hurd, obviously, because Jarrett Hurd was the younger, in his prime boxer. And that mattered in that fight. I think it would matter in the Danny Garcia-Miguel Cotto fight, but no matter what I think, it was a big fight and he should have took it.
Enrique, I'm gonna throw a name at you.
Go ahead.
Tony Harrison. You know him?
No. I just know his name. I don't know.
All right.
Jarrett Hurd beat him.
Yeah, that was Jarrett Hurd's last fight.
That was the one he beat for the title.
Right, but I also said today that, I know Jarrett Hurd through Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I don't know his fights. I barely tuned into any of them.
Damn. And then we wonder why this fight didn't do well.
Well, it hasn't been promoted. I think it was just a rushed fight. Trout's a great name for Jarrett Hurd to fight, man. So was the Lubin Charlo. So
all right. But you kind of know Harrison now, right? Or no? You just
kind of. Yeah.
You think Danny Garcia beats Tony Harrison?
But isn't that different division?
So is Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto's 54.
Yeah, but Miguel Cotto said and is, really a small 54. Right?
Casual, not that casual anymore, Matt. He's learning.
Okay, that was one factoid on the biggest Puerto Rican boxer of his lifetime, and he's Puerto Rican.
Good one. What about you, Matt? What are you doing? Harrison, Danny Garcia, Barclay Center. Who wins?
I think Danny wins just because Tony just doesn't. He can't last 12 rounds. Tony Harrison cannot last 12 hard rounds with an elite boxer, or at least an elite fighter, and Danny is that.
Well, all right. Interesting. I wanted my listeners to hear that and see. I want you to bounce that off your head. Since these guys, were being offered this fight. I mean, does Danny beat even a Harrison? He's offered a Cotto fight. Can he beat a Harrison at 54? All right. So, any other headlines? I think we got
yes. We have George Groves versus Jamie Cox. That happened in the World Boxing Super
That's
Series.
right. What's that? Third round knockout?
It was third or fourth.
Something.
It was relatively early, I would say. But it was a good fight. I mean, Jamie Cox had George Groves a little bit hurt there for a bit. But George Groves was just the better guy. He was just the better boxer. He eventually hit him with a brutal body shot. One similar to the one that you landed in sparring the other day, Ness.
Oh. Leak.
And it hurt Cox. He went down. Fight ended. And now it's gonna be, of course, Chris Eubank Jr. versus George Groves.
They did a face-off already.
I am pumped for that fight. Pumped, man. Pause. But I think that fight is going to be great. I think it's a great UK fight. And it's one that may have a little bit of a crossover interest in the U.S. boxing market in terms of just the fans, at least. Because we know Chris Eubank. We've heard his name.
Enrique, do you know this guy he speaks of?
Yeah, Chris Eubank. He's a UK guy.
Do you know George Groves?
George Groves. He fought Andre Ward and lost.
George Groves did not fight Andre Ward.
All right, then I'm wrong. That was Froch.
Yes, George Groves fought Carl Froch. Are you interested, casual, since you are casual, in Eubank versus Groves?
Nah.
I'll watch it.
Yo, casual's the worst boxer.
He said, I'll watch it. I like that, Cash. I like that.
Who knows? You know what I'm saying? It got to be a nice story.
For us, for just the boxing market worldwide, that's a big fight.
Yo, really
it's bigger
quick.
than this weekend's fight that we just had.
Really quick, let me read off some results. Cindy Serrano captured a win yesterday, as well as Tony Harrison, Cordell Booker got a win. George Aries, Julian Sosa, my boy, got a win out of the Atlas Cops and Kids, trained by Liano Sosa, his dad, the trainer of Big Baby Miller, and also Richardson Hitchens over there. And Richardson Hitchens got his second win, TMT Zone. Brooklyn native, defeated Jordan Morales. Keep an eye out on the young 140-pound prospect on his way up. Those were some other Barclays Center fights that were on the undercard of the Barclays Center fights, and local New York fighters that really sold as many tickets as they possibly could. Also on Matt's coast, the West Coast, Abner Mares picked up his win over Andres Gutierrez. At least he won by knockout, right?
Yes, he did.
But Leo Santa Cruz also got a win, and he won by knockout as well. The corner finally stopped, or did he go? I think he went decision, I remember.
I don't know.
I don't know. Did I fall asleep?
You have the almighty box rec in front of you. And let's be honest, I was so over that fight by the time.
If you're not signed in, box rec doesn't love you.
That's true. Box rec's pain. It's a pain in the ass. Anyways, I think that card was only used as a very expensive promo for the Showtime card, and I wonder if it had any effect in viewership. I hope it did, because Leo Santa Cruz, Abner Mares are at least notable names in the Hispanic market, especially in the SoCal and Southwest region. Hopefully it brought something to both cards, and there was a symbiotic relationship between them in that way. I don't know if that's the case, because these fights are relatively tune-ups, and they look that way. And both these guys picked up easy wins.
Now, check it out. The opposite of Erickson Lubin, right? We got a young up-and-coming prospect, Eddie Ramirez.
Oh, God. This
Before
fight.
last night, he was 17-0, and he was fighting the names that you want to see a prospect fight on the way up. And he was going to get in with a veteran But before that, he got in there with the undefeated Ryan Cowboy Carl, who is trained by Ronnie Shields. He also got in there with Eric Bonet, who's a common opponent with Sean Porter and numerous other elite level fighters. And then yesterday, he took on the challenge of former, what is it, junior welterweight? No. It's junior lightweight, super lightweight, right? 135, Antonio DeMarco.
No, 135 is lightweight.
Well, whatever. Former champion Antonio DeMarco. He had the title at one time, lost to Broner. A couple of other losses on his resume, obviously. And Eddie Ramirez stepped up yesterday, was fighting a great fight in the first round.
And then
the veteran landed a left hook, I believe, that changed everything.
Yo, shout out to Antonio DeMarco. We all thought he was knocking on like death's door. Like,
no, I thought he was gonna get
door.
knocked out, like out.
I was honestly worried about his health, to be honest. With how many wars he's been in, just his longevity in his career, how many punches he's taken. But I mean, he looked good actually. I mean, he didn't look great, but he definitely earned himself another fight on TV.
But so did Ramirez. Ramirez was killing this guy, and that's what I'm saying. Like, getting caught doesn't mean nothing.
True.
It's not about, he was there too soon. No, they got caught because look at this guy. He wasn't moving up too soon. He was doing it the way that you want him to do it. And it still happened because that's what happens in boxing. You can't play it. This shit is real. One punch changes everything.
Another quick piece of boxing news before we head to the sponsors and the callers. Dimitri Bivol picking up a WBA light heavyweight title because Badu Jack didn't want to fight him. I know, Bruce.
Well, that's old news, bro. I mean, he vacated that title.
I know, but Bruce
shows ago.
Yeah, but it's more headlines, and we've never really addressed it. Bruce thinks this is a clear sign of ducking by Badu Jack.
How is it, Bruce? Stop it. We all know. Everyone knows, except you. Obviously, haven't cleared the coal out your eyes yet.
The coal out your eyes. What? Is that a term?
Yeah, you wake up in the morning and your eyes start because you got the little coal in your eye.
Coal, like as in the thing that you use to like move engines and like trains and shit, like that coal.
No. See, he's from the West Coast, so he don't.
So help him, Enrique. Give him some East Coast slang. Show him how to get jiggy over here. I mean, that's kind of old, but that's still East Coast, right? Will Smith.
And why, those lyrics? Pop.
The coal on my eye. See who's this calling me and why? It's my nigga Pop from the barbershop. Told me he was in the gambling spot. Heard the intricate drop. Niggas want to stick you like fly paper. Come on. If you don't know that verse yet, kill yourself. Anyway, going back to the show. Where were we at? Coal in my eye. What we said? Who got coal in there? Who had the coal?
I forget.
Bruce. Coal in his eye.
He wiped the coal out his eye. Why? Because what fight he said isn't happening?
Dimitri Bivol versus Badu Jack.
That's right, because everyone that knows anything about boxing, even casual fan, knows that fucking Badu Jack is gonna fight Adonis Stevenson.
Superman.
I just want to bring it up for Bruce, for his sake.
Simple. But what else do we got? Results. We got results. Roberto Marquin. I can't believe Roberto Marquin somehow got another win. He beat Ruben Tamayo yesterday.
Are you really gonna mention all these?
No, I'm not gonna mention all those other ones.
We've been talking for like an hour.
No, I'm not gonna mention all those. I'm not. I'm just looking for the most significant ones.
And you mentioned that one.
I mean, I know Marquin. You never seen a fight? No.
I
casual fan.
I don't know.
Call yourself casual fan.
I don't know how to spell that.
Call yourself casual fan. I just want to really quick point out the thumbnail and shout out to the Charlos. I told y'all about a year ago they were the bad boys of boxing. Check out the thumbnail.
That pose. Man.
Check out the pose. Check out the lips. Those are not duck lips. Those are more like, when you like, man, whatever. You say he was gonna beat me. That's that picture right there. So I mean, they are stars. They just need to be found. Let's go out to the sponsors, and then we'll go out to our listeners. I want to remind you the phone number is 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time if you want to speak here. You want to voice your opinion here on the Voice of the People hotline, the Boxing Voice Radio, hashtag TBV podcast. Add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. That's NESTORGIBBS.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Gonna go out to, is it the Windy City, Matt? Are they known as the Windy City?
Are you going to the
Are they known
Ringers?
as the Windy
Are
City?
you going to the Ringers?
What is the Windy City?
Are you going to the Ringers?
What is the Windy City?
Chicago.
Yo, what's up? What's up? Great night of boxing last night. We'll start off with the Hurd. Well, I wasn't able to call in, but pretty much got all my picks right. I went with Hurd because he was a younger guy, but I did feel like Trout was the better boxer, which he showed that maybe 2-3 years ago. Trout would have won. I'm not a big fan of Hurd. I feel like he has a lack of defense, no head movement. He seems to me like he just looking for the big punch, knockout. You know, he doesn't really throw punches, and if Trout wouldn't have gassed out, he would have won easily, in my opinion. As far as the Charlo fight, I mean, man, I'm a big fan of Charlo's now, man. They got to stop putting prospects in the cage with them lions, man. They no joke. I like the bad boy image. I think that sales, if you look at Floyd and McGregor, I like that. And I would like to see the Charlo fight Lara next, since Hurd has to fight his mandatory, whoever that is. So I would like to see Charlo fight Lara next, I think that'd be a good fight. And then the winner of that fight Hurd, then unify the titles. I think that'd be a good look. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, Santana.
Oh yeah, I think if Garcia does move out, I think he can beat Tony Harrison. I'm not a big fan of Tony Harrison. It's like a 50-50 between him and Cotto. It's a toss up. So yeah.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in. Real quick, how is Bruce gonna say that's whack not to fight Bivol for a title and to fight Adonis for a title? I mean, how is the same thing? You're just fighting a more legitimized champion. You're fighting the champion that you'll actually get credit for. You'll go down as the man because you beat the man.
Champ, the one that's going to present more money.
Yeah.
Like every reason you can think of, Adonis Stevenson is the fight to make. Sorry, Bivol. Sorry.
Bivol just stepped on the scene, bro. Like, he might get.
Bivol doesn't even have a top 10.
He might get hat lead.
He doesn't have a top 10 win yet.
He might get hat lead for all we know.
Or Lubin.
Yo, don't do that. It's too soon.
Oh, too soon.
Too soon. You can't make those jokes. Too soon.
I'm sorry, guys. I know it's been very soon for everyone.
Too soon, bro. Not right now. Yo, you're gonna rub it in.
Yo, Lubin's gonna become a term.
Lubin's gonna fuck you up, and then you're gonna ruin our relationship with Lubin. Yo, don't even care about you.
Seeing that knockout over and over actually made me feel sick. I felt really, really bad. Felt like death.
Damn, like death.
Yeah, he was just stretched out. He looked like a squirrel when he got ran over by a car and he's just dying.
Yo, y'all need to say that for off air, man. Y'all bugging.
I mean, it was true, man. I felt bad. I was
under the buses. For real. Let's go out to the ringers who stand in the field with us on Patreon, making sure that the dream continues to be a reality.
Yo, first of all, let me say, I don't play Showtime to see you all damn not even putting a goddamn motherfucking effort. If I want to see some motherfucker just fight, I pick up a fight with somebody in the street. Don't need that shit. You don't love that form I do? Just move along. Gone. Fuck you. Next, what a great show. Thumbs up, donate.
That was courtesy.
Hey,
Yo.
Georgie Porgy, what's up?
What's up, baby?
Long time, brother.
My nigga Cash, so don't let this nigga poop.
Long time, baby. Don't let these niggas put work on you, dog.
Yo, hey Georgia, you wanna finish your call or not? Because you on speaker, like you ain't been calling for 5 years.
Come on, rookie.
Like you don't know the fucking rules.
Fucking amateur.
You know, I'm not a speaker, dog. What you talking about? This is my number that sound like that, so don't put me in the spot. Let me go with my 30 seconds anyway, god damn it. Listen, bro. Everybody talking about Lubin. Lubin going nowhere. That punch that Charlo landed will knock out 90% of human beings on the planet. I don't give a fuck who you are. You would have go to sleep, my friend. That's number one. Two, Lubin got hit with that punch from Charlo, and the Charlo be using that same combination. I haven't checked out the YouTube, but just checking on my memory. I know that I've seen him or his other brother knock out motherfucker with the same shit. Lesson to be learned, don't go underneath on the Charlo. Those niggas got that shit packed down. Look like that's all memory, muscle memory, and they just got that punch packed down that will get you. I guess because Lubin didn't have no experience, he fought for it. That's number two. And number three, yo, don't be documenting that. What's up with this fucking blood wars? Are you down or what? Sign that contract, punk.
Georgie, what contract, first of all? Because I mean, like, why do you do that? Why do you do that? Why do you just say lies in the chat? I mean, does that make you happy to be known as the liar? You want to be part of Border Wars, Georgie?
You know you be docking me for years.
So do you want to be part of Border Wars?
There you coming to with the match. You know I got that work for you.
Now I gotta go to I gotta go to Massachusetts. I mean, he's ducking more than Errol Spence opponents.
It's okay.
You sound like you ducking more than Errol Spence opponents.
He doesn't want you to cut his ponytail again.
Oh no,
everybody out there.
He's another Huracan. I took his ponytail. He doesn't want revenge.
Listen, bro, stop bullshitting. Everybody donate to Paul and Fortnite to come to face the real competition with the match. I'm out.
Ain't nothing in Massachusetts, buddy. Nothing at all. We going out to KM Star, another ringer. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Well, I guess I'm glad I didn't buy tickets because I got my call from the Barclays rep. Hold on. Can you guys hear me okay? I don't know if
perfectly. We hear you perfectly.
You're good.
Okay, cool. But I guess the Lubin thing surprised me, even though I definitely would have picked Charlo to win, of course. But I am surprised that he was knocked out that quickly. Lara, I don't know, man. Is this a guy that just takes his time and is just pacing himself, or is he a guy on his, on his way out? It's hard to say. When they asked the Charlos if they wanted to fight Hurd or Lara, I'm surprised that they did not say give me either or. They picked Hurd specifically. I do know they're stablemates, but in the post-fight interview, Lara was not shy about saying, look, I trained with the Charlos, but I'll fight them if it comes to it, if the money, if the business is right. And I do think the Charlos need Lara, right? Like I think that's the name that Jermell needs on his resume. Because unless Cotto were to fight him or one of these other guys on the way out were to fight him. But right now, those Charlos, man, they look so good. They're taking it over. I mean, I don't even know what to say. They just look that dominant. And I don't know if it's a competition or they are just that dominant. So that's why I think we as fans need to see answered for us. Obviously, and then the other guy who could fight them is training with them also, Errol Spence. Like, it's crazy. So, they're going to run out of opponents. I don't know, man. And they're too young and they're on their way up. It's too soon for them to be running out of competition and people to fight. I'm a little frustrated by that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, overreacting. I want to see those guys fight somebody that really shows elevates them, makes everybody know who they are, not just hardcore fans, because they are good enough to deserve that kind of credit and recognition. That's my call,
KM Star, man, great call as always, my friend. Great call as always. We're going to go out.
Very quickly. We have over 200 people listening right now, and yet under 100 likes.
I mean, it's always like that. They don't love us.
It's ridiculous.
Why?
So please hit that thumbs up.
So easy to do.
It's right there.
It's free.
Just move the cursor over.
You
Or
do
if you're on your
nothing.
phone, you just hit your thumb.
Costs you nothing.
Once.
Why not?
Do it.
Why?
Now.
Now. Let's go to Class Inbound. In Texas, what's up, brother? Hey, what's up, guys? Going out to Santiago in LA.
Hey guys, what's up? Glad to be calling in on another Flag Show edition of the show. And what a Saturday of fights. Obviously we had the PBC card on Fox that thankfully was not aired at the same time. And obviously they were showcases fight. Not much to say at that point. Chris Avalos, tough son of a bitch, but obviously already done. If it had been the Chris Avalos from like maybe a few years ago, would have been a different fight altogether, but that's besides the point. Now for the Showtime card, oh my God, man. I obviously picked Jarrett Hurd. I'm so happy he won, but man, did he show some limitations in that fight. I did not see the Jarrett Hurd that had me convinced he could be something when he beat Frank Galarza. And unless he refines some of those deficiencies he has, he's going to be one of the weaker fighters and champions at 154. Obviously, I would favor Lara and Charlo against him, but he is durable. He does have some respectable power, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes from here. Devastating knockout by Charlo over Erickson Lubin. Obviously, he did what I figured he would have done. He emulated his brother right there when he knocked out Julian Williams by almost emphatically just icing, knocking the consciousness out of Erickson Lubin. And we probably are entering the Charlo era at 154 pounds once Cotto's done in December. It'll be interesting how his reign lasts and who's willing to get in the ring with them. And obviously, what's there to say about Lara? He just put on another boxing clinic. He went through the motions, beat a guy that wasn't at his level, and, the crowd was bored. I wasn't paying too much attention after that, but they would really need to when it was all said and done. Obviously, we thought he would knock him out. He didn't. That's how it usually tends to go with defensive-oriented fighters, and there's not much to say at that point. I'm excited for the Errol Spence Lamont Peterson fight. I think it's a good fight for him, a great first title defense. I think that Lamont will give him a good fight, allow him to grow as a fighter, and it's one of those fights that, like Matt says, is a fight worth talking about and not one of those showcase fights. So it'll be interesting where that leads us as we try to get the Keith Thurman fight for Errol Spence. That's all I have to say for right now. Anything you guys want to ask me, feel free to. Otherwise, that's my call.
As always, Santiago, great call. Going out to Majid in Florida. Majid. Oh. Majid, I'm sorry. We're going to go back to Class Inbound and see if he is there. Class Inbound, are you there? Nope. Still listening? All right. Heading out to Long Beach, the home of my good friend. And Ness is here so we can play the intro to Mr. JP from Long Beach, 2016 Caller of the Year.
AKA JP Duck Wheezy.
Long Beach in the house. Yeah.
Free smoke, free smoke. Free smoke, free smoke. That's what Errol let Keith know last night. Errol looked to Keith's motherfucking soul last night, right in front of him. Keith basically is a man who should hand over that belt right now. He said, look, man, he's hungrier than me. He didn't want no parts of nothing. And Errol just sat there and looked at him with a smirk like, yeah, you already know what's good. You asked me, Keith lost that belt last night. He might as well just hand it over. And I disagree with Georgie as far as that shot that Charlo landed would knock out 90% of whoever. I don't think the shot was that devastating. I don't think he had much much leverage on it. It was kind of a fall-in shot, a shot that you always see thrown, and rarely do you see a person get knocked out by it. The only person I've seen knock a person out with a similar shot like that is Rumble Johnson in the UFC, knock a guy out similar to that. But like you guys say, Steve Kim had noted that he see Charlo went down hard before to a journeyman, and with that kind of, you rarely see guys go down that hard. And like if you're
Lubin.
you're more susceptible. Lubin, you're more susceptible to be concussed in the future. The only person we've seen like that in recent history is Pacquiao go down like that and haven't gone down like that again. But as far as Hurd and Trout, I like Hurd. I think the trainer I'd have for Hurd is Robert Garcia to kind of mold that craft of a big come forward guy. But otherwise, somebody's going to hurt him, because he's just taking punches with his face. But other than that, when that Borders come around, I'm on my Shannon Briggs shit. Y'all already know. I'm coming in. Matt talking about I can't come up there. Matt, you going to have to keep me out there. Free smoke.
We'll see, man. Secret location only gets sent out to participants. Ernest from Huntsville, Alabama. What up? We're going to be in Alabama in a couple hours.
Well, not a couple. More like 13.
That's cool. That's cool.
Couple.
That's cool.
Ain't
That's
shit.
Cool. Listen, I saw the fight last night. I saw the 3 fights last night. What was the attendance? What was the official attendance?
Man, I would have to check. Let me see. I'm pretty sure we got an email on that. Let me double check.
I think it was 8,000 at the Barclays. Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, 8,000 isn't bad. I know some bigger names that have done 8,000.
At the Barclays, how much does the Barclays seat?
I mean, didn't Keith and Thurman only do 8?
How much does the Barclays seat? How much does the Barclays seat?
It's like 18 to 20.
Well, they've never gotten more than 13, and that was with Danny until they broke it when I think Danny and Keith broke it.
That was like 17,000, something like that, I think. 18,000.
Danny and Keith broke the record.
Okay.
Before that, it was like Danny and someone else had it.
Okay, so it wasn't even half full. Is that a good assumption? You barely got half.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I got the email, but
That's
there
why I
isn't
didn't
any
argue.
official number either. You're right. I don't see any official number here. They probably purposely kept that out.
Okay, I thought I read ESPN less than 8,000, but that's ESPN. My point is that I know Errol is fighting Lamont Peterson. I hope it's not New York. I hope it's in Dallas. Because if you can't draw at least 10,000 for a triple header, 3 title fights, you're not going to draw 10,000 in Uniondale or maybe even the Barclays. Just go ahead and have the fight in Dallas in January.
I hear you, man. Is that all you got, Ernest?
I mean, yeah, well, look, they don't have, you ain't got to compete with college football in January. I made that point before. And I mean, you're not going to get 10,000. If you didn't get 10,000 last night at the Barclays, you're not going to get 10,000 in Uniondale in January against Lamont Peterson. Bring the fight to Dallas, fight American Airlines Arena.
Well, there isn't any. I don't think. Did they announce a venue? Because the last I seen, me and Matt reported on this.
They haven't announced.
Exactly. So they're probably working out the logistics, Ernest. Let them work it out. Let them see who gives them the best offer. They need a site fee from one of these big venues. Listen, Barclays Center is paying for these fights. They obviously enjoy having, 8 to 13,000 people there for fight nights. They make it work for them. Dallas is going to have to think that can work.
They didn't have 13 last night.
No,
they didn't have 13
I
last
understand.
Night. They had 8.
No, I understand. I said they obviously like to have 8 to 13,000. It works for them. Because remember,
Why would you want to have 8 for a triple header at the Barclays?
You're not listening. It's not that they want 8, Ernest. they obviously are comfortable with 8 to 13,000 because they even had Chris Algieri and Ruslan on there. They just buy New York City fights, and they've had lower numbers, but they keep trying. They're in the boxing business.
Okay. I think they made a mistake last night. They'll admit to it because you're not satisfied with 8 at the Barclays. You're just not.
Well, I'm sure everyone wants to sell out, Ernest. And look, I'm not arguing with you at all. If you heard the beginning portion of the show, that's what we were talking about. The fact that these guys don't quite have the popularity that they should be getting. I understand when the Charlos say they don't feel they get the respect they deserve. And, numbers are indicating that, more people need to care about what took place yesterday than probably are at the moment. Hopefully we can do a good enough job in spreading that word around. Ernest, thanks for calling in all the way in Huntsville, Alabama. We're going out to New Jersey. Talk to me.
Fellas, was good.
What's up, brother?
Okay. Let me take my crow. I see everybody, they forget how this show works. Let me take my crow to that side. I also want to say 2 of my upset picks came through. And I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it like I'm fucking guru, but both Barroso and Lopez won on that Friday night card. And I think everybody might have, made it a foregone conclusion that Maldonado Jr. or Cano was going to win. So I want to pat myself on the back for that. Hurd and Trout was an interesting fight. It really looked like Odell Beckham Jr. versus Deion Cole. Because I'm watching a fight, and Trout is only 31, but he looked like a much older man, and they're struggling against a younger, stronger guy. And really, Hurd looks a lot like Chavez Jr. to me in terms of that flat-footedness and not really being able to put any decent combinations together, but, being strong and being kind of powerful. So, I don't feel bad for taking that quote for Trout. I think Lubin and Charlo, man, them Charlos, man, that's why it's hard to pick against them because as much as I appreciate Lubin, he was definitely a little bit, he there for greatness, right? He took a loss against one of the Charlos, so regardless of how his career go, he jumped in there early to see what he was made of. So all that does, I give, both respect to both them fighters. I think Lara needs to do something big at 154 or else, he's going to have to, I'm not going to say change weight or nothing, but he's going to have to consider fighting one of the Charlos when his stablemates or fighting Andrade or something. But, great show so far, fellas. That's my call, and I'll keep it moving.
Thanks as always for calling in, brother. Appreciate the call. Great call as always. Appreciate the support. We're going out to Atlanta to one of our alumni, the Milkman.
I told y'all a long time ago, the Kirkland will go down 3 rounds.
Who's next? I got milk, baby.
Yeah. The Milkman is back. Just real quick, Charlo starched Lubin, man. Lubin looked like a zombie trying to get up from a damn shotgun blast. I want to see Charlo fight Lara next. I think that'll be a good scrap. As far as Thurman and Danny, man, 147, man, it's up in the air right now, man. It's a bunch of chess pieces on the board. It just depends on who's going to fight who next. I definitely think Thurman deserves at least one, probably 2 soft touches or softer touches. I wouldn't mind seeing him, do something like a one-off, go to the UK, fight Eglinton, get some work in, test that elbow out. In the meantime, Errol can fight, his upcoming fight with Lamont. I think his best move right now would be to do a catch weight or just pull Mikey up to 147. I think that'll be a good payday for both of them. And we got Jeff Horn looming out there. Maybe Thurman or Errol could ice Jeff Horn and then
both of them could fight each other in 2018, maybe the end of 2018. So that's what I think. I'm out.
Milkman, thanks for calling in as always. We're going out to Suleiman Niscala, New York City. Talk to us.
Good evening, Max. Good evening, Matt. These fights were very entertaining for the junior middleweight division, and it shows that Charlo's growing too, like his brother. And to tell you the truth, the punch was devastating, but I think the guy he crumbled under pressure. He just tensed up. He went through that Michael Grant syndrome when he fought for the first time for the heavyweight championship. He just crumbled right there. Everything just caved in on him after he got hit dead on the chin with that shot. So he wasn't prepared for the occasion. And I think they pushed the hammer too quickly into a title fight. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, that's why he crumbled like that. Now the fight with Lara, everybody's saying that Lara just boxed. He went on defensive, but he dropped the guy. The guy just had a good chin and went in his shell. So if the guy would have, he would have better attacked him with another uppercut or something like that, the fight would have ended early. So people should look at that also. The guy went on the defensive. The guy was an Olympic fighter, and he did pretty good. He went the distance with Lara. I mean, I'll be walking my chest out too, like you said in the other show a couple of weeks ago. You said that that if you win 12 rounds with a top junior middleweight, like that, I mean, I'll be walking my chest out too. And then Jarrett Hurd, he's trying to entertain. He has a style. I think he should keep that style. That style's working for him. We're out the fighters. He did that with Tony Harrison, and he also did that with Hurd and Trout. I mean, I think he shouldn't change his style, just tweak it a little more to make it more effective. And I think to tell the truth, if he stays put in that division, he could be the top dog. You know what I mean? Because I think Lara's moving up and Charlo's moving up. I mean, Charlo looks real big, and that's where. And Danny, he should stay at 147, man. Danny should try to get that IBO belt from that South African fighter, something like that. Do a Chris Eubank Jr. Technique. Get the IBO belt. Fight a couple of B-class ex-champions till something comes up with Keith Thurman. And you guys have a great evening.
Suleiman, great call, man. Appreciate the opinions. Thanks for calling in. I'm going out to Baltimore. Producer dropping the ball. Is it Wood or someone else? Baltimore. Hello? Going once.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes. Hey, it's the first-time caller.
First-time caller. How are you, my friend? I'm going to get in place. First-time caller intro. Let the world know your name and where you're calling from.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
It's Hassan from Baltimore.
Hassan, what's going on, brother? Talk to us.
Nothing much, fellas. First off, how's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, man, we're great, man. Happy to have a first-time caller. That's always a great thing.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'm just getting back into Baltimore now. I actually went to the fight last night, and it's a great atmosphere, I must say. But a few things I like to say. Starting off, Trout versus Hurd. That was the best fight of the night. I thought that Hurd, he has a weird technique. He was dropping his hands. He was walking forward. Trout was outboxing him, but he tired him out, constantly coming at him. He couldn't hurt him. He kept bringing pressure mentally and physically. I think that wore him out. And I talked to somebody from Hurd's camp, and they said that that's a style. He drops his hands. He always brings pressure. And they just said that's what he does. It's not like something he just did for the fight. They just said that's what he does. And he just do it in camp. Charlo and Lubin, I'll say this. I thought it was a great knockout. However, after the fight and then all of the stuff that happened in the arena, it was crazy with his camp. And I have to say this, Charlo, both of them, they're doing the bad boys image great, because people are going to want to see you lose. And even I have to say, he was an asshole after that night, him and his entire camp. But I have to give him credit. I thought it was a flash knockout. I thought the shot that he caught Lubin with, it wasn't a powerful shot, but Lubin flipped 2 jabs, ducked under, and got caught with a shot he didn't see. And usually the shot you don't see is the one that hurt the most. And finally, that Lara fight, I hate to say it, and I'm a fan of Lara, worst fight of the night. I don't want to see him fight Charlo. I don't want to see him fight Hurd. I think that he doesn't deserve a main event anytime soon. I would rather see Charlo fight Hurd. I agree with Matt on that one. I think Matt said Charlo versus Hurd. I would rather see those two fight. At the very least, I have a question with you guys real quick. Demetrius Andrade, is he officially at 160 or is it just one fight and he's coming back down to 154?
Man, we don't know, man. For all we know, they go off from a Golovkin fight after that or a Jacobs. We're going to have to wait and see.
That's a good point. So my last point, I just want to say, I'm hearing people say we might be in the Charlo era, and I feel as if that it's kind of, I wish I could have seen him fight Andrade. And I saw videos that you guys posted and stuff like that with comments he made, and I kind of feel as if it's default. But you guys have a good night. Appreciate you taking my call.
Appreciate you, Hassan. We love to have new callers, man. Thanks. You're part of the show. And we appreciate it, man. We hope you continue to call in. You probably never heard of what's about to happen, and what is going to happen is we're going to have one of our ringers who usually gets to cut the line. Well, not usually. That is part of being a ringer. You get to cut the line. So Info Joe's calling in right now, and he's going straight on.
Mr. Info Joe.
This portion of the show we call In the Know, presented by my brother.
Hey, first off, you have a lot of great callers on tonight, but you know it ain't no show without Info Joe back up in the house, y'all. First off, good win by Groves. I can't wait for the Eubanks fight. I'm going to pick Eubanks to beat him. Shout out to the UK, whoever's putting on their production on TV, man. The shit looks awesome with the lights going all around the ring, man. Just how they put it together, man. Take hints everybody else that's putting on fights on TV, man. They go all out. Shout out to them for that. Charlo versus Lubin, hey, man, that was the knockout of the year. I picked Charlo, but I felt bad for Lubin, man. I knew the kid wasn't ready, and I hope he bounced back, man, and I hope he's all right today. Come back, young brother. Give me my crow for Trout. Put some ketchup on it for me, please.
Man, right up, Info.
Yo, congrats to Hurd. He proved me wrong. Man, but how does this guy shrink down to 154? He looks like he's 168 in the ring. Easy. He uses his weight and his size as his advantage, man. Trout was outboxing his ass, man. And at the end of the day, it's going to be Lara and Charlo. I think both of them will beat him easy. I'm hoping that Andrade comes back down and gets in the mix because, as like all the callers said, after those two, that's it, man. I do think that it will be difficult for Lara and Charlo since they had so many training camps together. They know each other very well. I think the fight will be more entertaining than people think because they both going to have to, he has his brother in his camp. So it's going to be pretty interesting, man. I know he did look pretty dull last night. As far as Thurman versus Spence, all y'all got your fucking panties in the bunch, man. I told y'all the boxing gods are going to make the fight happen next year. Peep this out. Put your thinking caps on. Why would Showtime put both of those dudes together when Spence is announcing his fight? You didn't see Lamont there. They could have flew Lamont in to do the promotion for the Spence fight. But no, they had Thurman there, y'all. They building the fight, y'all. Open your fucking minds. Y'all don't see it. It's right in front of you. The fight is going to happen. I'm Infodamus, and that's my call. Peace.
Infodamus, thanks for calling in, my friend. Very quickly,
Very quickly, you wanted to give me some crow because I did pick Trout and I forgot to get some crow.
Oh, did you now? Crow,
Shout out
crow,
to Trout for putting in a hell of a fight.
crow,
Next
crow your boat gently down the stream.
I'm gonna go JD.
Who's JD?
JD, motherfucker.
Who's JD?
JD, motherfucker.
There's a lot of things I like to move, so just try to get on my game. I don't know why they gonna call me, but I'm a 54-pounder. But I have a brother that's at 160.
Yo, give me that crow for Trout versus Hurd. Yo, I kept screaming like, why the fuck is he not sitting down on his punches? That's all he had to do. Like, I can't see Jarrett Hurd standing in there with a Charlo and just eating those punches like he was doing Trout. Like, anybody with power is just going to destroy Hurd, in my opinion. Shout out to Joe for coming on and saying everybody getting their panties in a bunch with Keith Thurman. Like, if I'm Keith Thurman, I'm the most frustrated boxer in the world. This dude, let's go back to his past 5 fights. He fought Bundu. He got booed. He fought what's his name? Colazo. He got booed. He fought Porter. He got booed. He turned around and fight Garcia and get booed. And now fans are like, if I'm Keith Thurman, I'm like, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? He blessing us with all these good fights and then getting booed afterwards. But getting to Charlo real quick. Somebody may be ducking me now since he owes me money. Now I ain't gonna do him like that, but Jay from Orlando, we was beefing all week about that fight, right? And I just got one text from him after the fight, but anyway, as far as the Charlos being bad boys in boxing, we gotta address that one dude who threw the chair. Like, what was that about? So what we got from Charlo was a reaction. You know what I'm saying? For the caller who just called in talking about Charlos being bad guys. Look, them dudes, they be quiet. Like he said, keep running your mouth. He had the shirt on because that's what they do. But I can go on and on about that shit, man. But, yo, shout out to Charlo. And I'll leave y'all with shout out to Jay from Orlando.
All right, JD. Shout out to you. Let me get them confirmations, man. We want to know if you're going to be around for the festivities for Border Wars. We're going out to D.C. Marcus, talk to us. Marcus going once, twice, 3 times you're out and we're on. 832-690. 832-690. You're live. First time caller. 832-690.
No, just listen, bro.
Just listen.
Just listen, bro. Just listen.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for calling in and thank you for listening. 916-330. First time caller?
Nah, man. I called in a while ago. This is Lynch, man. Ready from Sacktown.
Lynch from Sacktown?
Yep.
Lynch, what's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man. Just calling to talk about that fight, man. That was a devastating knockout, man. And I mean, a lot of people, you know what shot it really reminds me of? I don't know if you guys remember, but that was when Stefan had fought Ray Austin. It was like a sideways headshot that he caught him with. And that was exactly like that, similar punch, like as far as you got that angle. And see, he got caught. another thing I wanted to speak on was the Keith Thurman thing, because like a lot of people keep acting like Keith Thurman's scared of Orange things, but I mean, y'all, I don't know if y'all seen everything that was going on last night, but he kept speaking back when every time anybody was bringing that up to him, and I do think that fight is going to happen. And I don't know, I got to kind of lean towards Keith Thurman a little bit, because I don't know, like Keith Thurman got power, y'all. Like I think a lot of people are sleeping on his power. That's really all I got to say. Is just looking forward for that fight, man. Y'all go ahead, keep it moving. Y'all have a good night, man.
Well, all right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in, man. We're going to go down the line here. We got 917. 917, you're live. New York City. Who's this?
This is Marlon.
Marlon, what's up, brother?
What's up? Last night was a great night of boxing. I want to say that I thought Trout was doing good in the beginning, but I think he kind of lost due to him being gassed more than what Hurd and Justin. I think it was more of Trout gassing out than Hurd and Justin. And I think Hurd needs to work on his head movement and footwork before he takes a big fight with like someone like Charlo or Lara. What do you think about that?
I mean, Hurd needs to take someone before Charlo or Lara. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that someone was already Austin Trout. I don't know if we could do any more, you know. I mean, like it's unification time, right? But I hear you. I was the same one saying marination, so it all depends what it is they present us with. But, man, thanks for calling in. I'm going to go out to Stainless.
Straight to the point for those with attention deficit. I'm so repetitive, so I gotta repeat. Stainless from the streets to the deep. I'm coming with that heat. All you need to know about me, I'm coming with that heat.
You seriously didn't go to him?
Man, it was a
Stainless, you're gonna have to start all over.
Yeah, you're gonna start all over.
Matt never even let you in.
You played his intro and then you didn't go to him?
He never even let you in, B.
Yo, come on. Stainless knows what I was
it's
doing.
all
I
good, man.
was preoccupied, okay?
Yeah, man, pulling counts, man. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? All I said was it's a great night of boxing. I'm with everybody else. Good wins from what I saw in the Abner Morris fight. I thought it should have been a knockout. I could have sworn I heard Jack Reese say that the cut was on his eye was caused by a punch, not by an accidental head. But and Santa Cruz did what Santa Cruz does. On to the super welterweight division. Hurd did what I thought he would do. I really think that it was the headbutt and the cut. I watched that fight probably twice since then, and you see his reaction when the ref says, you know, accidental headbutt, and he realizes that he got cut, man. Like he put down his hands, but then he was able to work out his spacing, his timing, his speed, and you got Jarrett Hurd as a fighter. I think we might just be overlooking the fact that, and I don't want to say that he's at Roy Jones quality, but he's a guy who just that's how he fights, you know, and that's how he naturally fights, and it's what works for him. And as long as it's working for him, I would say don't stop it. The Lara fight, man, was a snoozer. I don't even know how that happened. I would like to see Charlo fight Lara first, though. I think that's a great fight, and it's got a great build-up. They were already saying that Lara was saying that he used to spar both of the Charlo brothers, and they were talking about who got hit more because he beat both of them up. And then once they asked, he was talking about, you know, it's his business. I don't care who it is. You know, like he had no problem fighting Charlo. Charlo seemed a little hesitant about calling out Lara. Not so much, like I ain't saying that Hurd ain't the guy to overlook. Like Hurd is probably the smarter fight for him, but he sounded a little more nervous about calling out Lara. I gotta add to JD point. Outside of the bad boy shit that happens as a reaction to what other people are doing, you don't really hear anything bad about the Charlo brothers, man. I mean, they were just talking before the fight started about how they were out there helping with hurricane relief.
very quickly, I think you can be like a good person and still have like that bad boy persona in the ring or around your fight. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love it. I ain't got no problem with it at all.
And I don't think it's really a bad boy. It's not,
like
very quickly, it's not like a broner bad boy persona. It's more like a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah. When it happened at the J Rock Williams fight, they went a little too far. Like they should have been able to pull themselves back, which they did more at the because it wasn't about something that happened in the ring so much as it was like what was happening outside the ring. And you know, they handled it a lot better at the Lubin fight than they did at the Williams fight. So, you know, they you can even see them maturing into, if they're gonna have that bad boy image, then they embracing it. You know what I mean? Like they got the shirts, you know, keep running your mouth, but it say Lions only at the bottom. You know, hell, I'm like you, I want one of them shirts. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got. I appreciate the extra time. As I always say, please make sure you like and push the thumbs up on this and every episode of the Boxing Voice podcast, man. Get you a Patreon, you know what I'm saying? Patreon subscription. And if you like me and you in that super chat, man, go push that $sign. Give them one of them too. All right, fellas, man. Peace.
Stainless. Thank you as always. Thank everyone that continues to listen to the show, call in, and drop us those 5-star reviews.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Very important, man. Very important. Listen, it's that time. Me and the Hipster are hitting the road. It's time for that TBV road work. We're going to Alabama. We're going to visit the heavyweight champ of the world, Deontay Wilder. Will be in the camp. We're going to check him out. We're going to interview him, his trainer, sparring partners. We're going to eat some Dreamland. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be good. So we hope you guys enjoyed the show. We hope you guys have been enjoying the extra work that we've been putting in. The minute Matt landed, we've been working. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Remember to hit those thumbs up button on all these episodes. It could be now. It could be later. Future, present, past. Doesn't matter. Helps with the visibility of the show. Shout out to all the first-time callers today. Always a great thing to get new callers, man. Thank everybody that listens, everyone that supports the show. I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO.
And I'm Matt, the Hipster Hunter. You can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram, and my MMA podcast, Mixed Combat Radio, on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. And remember, we're going to be in Deontay Wilder, the WBC Heavyweight Champions Gym this entire week. So stay tuned. Hit that little bell icon under this video so you get all the notifications of all these interviews we're about to drop in the next week. It should be some juicy stuff. We know Deontay Wilder doesn't pull punches when he talks and when he's in an interview. And we know he's been a little bit heated about Joshua, Dylan White, Luis Ortiz. So God knows what he's going to say. And God knows how much fun we're going to have down there. I can't wait.
I can't wait myself. I want to remind everybody that we did do a Border Wars show. Head on over there. We got a little message for Matt and his opponent. We're looking for your guys' help. So definitely, if you're interested in our Border Wars episodes and season, head on over there, listen to that episode, and enjoy it. I think it was one of our best. We got a couple of introductions, a few new fighters, pretty tough guys, the Garcia brothers, trying to be our version of the Charlo brothers. We shall see. So head on over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice for all Border Wars content. You can also head on over to YouTube for our most recent free episode of Border Wars, the podcast explaining a little bit of drama, a little bit of beef, and a lot of juicy details. We got Enrique Church back on the way out. Damn, Enrique, you get to say goodbye. Hello.
Yes. Yo, speaking about Border Wars, I have an exclusive sit down with Matt Hunter in Nestor Gibbs' crib, where he does mention Gonzalez brothers or Garcia brothers, Canadian Bacon brothers, etc., etc. You can find me on YouTube, TBV_casual fan. On Instagram, I am at Fight Talk, and on Twitter, TBV_casual fan. In it, your show, Charlo, Lubin, Spence, Peterson, Thurman, Cotto, Garcia, Mikey Garcia. It goes on. This is the Boxing Voice. Peace.
Matt is on you.
I'm good. I already said peace.
Oh, peace.
Yeah.